The Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party.
Mr. Speaker, every day paramedics are stuck at emergency departments not doing what they were trained to do because they're waiting and waiting and waiting to be able to discharge responsibility for their patients. Here are some of the average offload times recorded at various hospitals last year, as our caucus has received this information in a recent Freedom of Information application. Cobequid, 71 minutes. Dartmouth General, 62 minutes. Halifax Infirmary, 91 minutes. Mr. Speaker, 91 minutes. Does the Premier think something is deeply and systemically wrong with the healthcare system where paramedics are routinely spending an hour and a half to offload their patients?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And the member knows that there is a ministerial directive to ensure that the offload times are limited to 30 minutes, Mr. Speaker. We have the recommendations from the Fitch report, most of which are actually already underway in anticipation. We're going to continue to work with experts and make sure that we're maximizing the efficiency, improving the system. And of course, there are pressures across our system. We're going to continue to invest in infrastructure in places, including increased outpatient centre access through Bayers Lake, which those parties voted against. We're going to continue to make those key investments and continue to look at how we can improve services across the province.
The Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party.
Mr. Speaker, what this member knows is that it takes more than a ministerial directive to solve a systemic problem. The thing about statistical averages, of course, is that they incorporate a lot of smaller numbers and they incorporate a lot of larger numbers. So that if the average wait time is for offloading, let's say 70 minutes, that means there are all kinds of instances that are going to be measured in the hours and the hours and the hours. Or the wait for offload could be 24 hours, which we're told by Mike Nickerson, president of the Paramedics Union, is not unheard of. Does the Premier agree with me that this is simply beyond all reason?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And what I can agree with are the recommendations, by and large, in the Fitch report to continue to look at how we can look at continuous improvement in a system that began as a pioneering system that other jurisdictions across North America looked at. And now we're going to continue to take it to the next level, looking at how we redesign that system, Mr. Speaker. I think we owe it to Nova Scotians to look at ways that we can improve offload times and also make key investments in areas to make the best out of the investments we put into the system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party.
Mr. Speaker, I ask this question with the solemn permission of the McPhee family. On September 29th last year at 6:30 in the morning, Anne McPhee's husband, Kelly McPhee, collapsed at their home on Craigmore Drive, just by the Armdale Rotary, about 6 minutes from the QE2, and called 911. It took the ambulance around 40 minutes to arrive, and in the course of that 40 minutes, Anne called 911 repeated times. Still no ambulance. Mr. McPhee passed away before the ambulance arrived. Mr. Speaker, we know that ambulance response delays indicate systemic problems in healthcare as a whole. What systemic solutions does the Premier propose in response to this experience as it has been related today by Mrs. McPhee?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Very much appreciate the question from the member. We can all just imagine the turmoil in those final moments of life. Responders did get there in 34 minutes. There are currently 2 investigations ongoing related to this specific case. One is a clinical investigation, which will help us determine whether the outcome could have been prevented. And the other investigation is operational to determine which factors in the system at large impacted the 34-minute response time. So, of course, we want to extend our condolences and sympathies to the family and inform the family that these investigations are ongoing. I know that the family met with representatives from EMC, including Dr. Travers as well, and we'll know more about this case as those investigations unfold. Thank you.